Riley Cooper, I mean, like, that dude deserves a statue. I mean, like,
number one on your speed dial.
Hey, I'll tell you what, like, I mean, I didn't know until a couple days after the fact. I was like, wait a minute, is he the MVP or like was he on the all-tournament team?
No doubt about it.
And then Ty Floyd, when I struck out 17, and like stole it from him. But I was like, when has a pitcher like been a part of like 5 of the 6 wins in Omaha? I mean, what a performance!
Coach, it's great to meet you.
Thanks, Jordy.
Thank you for the time. Yes, sir.
Sure, I'm a little late, boys, at the spring game, obviously, as you can see. A couple of booze cruises here to do. Let's do it. Cruise. Grand salami to the boys. Finally back on track. And I got another one coming. Don't you think I don't? And that's how we roll in Tiger Stadium.
Just watching the spring games that were on television, one thing that jumped out about your squad is your quarterback room is very talented compared to a lot of the league and a lot of the country. I wonder, is it easier to recruit that position when you have talent or when you don't have talent? Coach Kelly, we're official.
Finally,
I'm
get a
telling
chance to meet you. Thought I had to get a private audience with the Pope. There's Jordy.
Monday through Friday from 7 to 9. Yeah, you see the notification, we about to go live. We got all your favorite guests, we got them in line. It's the Jordy Culotta Show, come have a good time.
Tearing up, answering the question, and I thought, my God, if she gets offered this job, she's going to take it.
It's just a crazy, fun time at LSU right now. Isn't this what everybody loves?
From the boot to the east to the west coast, no matter where we at, we open up the phone lines, come and join the show. Make sure you tell your friends about Jordy Culotta Show. Yeah.
Let's go! Let's go!
All right.
Big start. Big day.
Nice start.
It's the Jordy Culotta Show. Come have a good time.
Coach, it's great to meet you.
Thanks, Jordy.
Thank you for the time. Welcome into a Tuesday edition of the Jordy Culotta Show, live here from our Click Here Digital Studios in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, in between Drusilla and Airline. Remember, we're online at clickheredigital.com. And if you want a direct contact on how you can change your marketing plan and go straight digital with us over here at Click Here Digital, you can email me, Jordy at clickheredigital.com. We're built every day by RMB Builders, and our phone line's brought to you by Southern Regional Medical Centers, Real Doctor, Real Solutions, with Charlie Harvey, Jason Ramazan, and the crew over there. We're going to talk to Brooke Kirchhofer coming up 45 minutes from now. Brooke will be here talking some New Orleans Saints as the Saints are looking to bounce back after Minnesota. We'll ask her what's going on with the quarterback situation with Carr and Hill and all of the quarterbacks.
He wanted to say David Carr so bad.
He did. He punted on it so quickly.
I did.
Just go straight to the last name.
Taysom Hill
Great
came
catch.
up.
Great catch.
Or Jameis.
All right, remember we're online on YouTube, and give us a like, share, and follow there if you don't mind, as you can follow us always on social media at Culotta Show. You can hit us there and online as well.
Can't believe we're working today. It's National Pickle Day.
National Pickle Day.
I feel like that would be a day of observation.
I'm not really like.
I'm just quoting Brian Burgess.
I'm not the craziest pickle guy.
I can't stand a pickle. Never have, never will. Can't touch it. Ruins every sandwich.
Damn. Oh, I don't put pickles on my sandwiches. Like,
No, well,
if I'm making a sandwich at home.
Hell no, I don't even buy pickles. Never have. But like Chick-fil-A, if you get one with the pickle on it, toast, cash it, throw it out.
Damn. I just take the pickles off.
No, but it seeps in there because they keep them in the wrapper. Like whenever, back in the day when you got like the Chick-fil-A, like when we worked at Northwestern State, if you got lucky, you got like a leftover from the football team after the game, and it's like been in the bag for 6 hours, and that pickle is a pickle sandwich.
Yeah.
So not even worth it.
That pickle is ingrained in that sandwich.
Yeah, pickle is it's too powerful. The pickle is too strong.
I got to take this phone call. My house alarm is going off.
Oh, God.
We'll be right back. Unless you want more pickle talk.
Yeah, just keep the pickle talk going.
Pickleball, pickle talk.
So you don't like pickles?
No, I hate pickles. Hate a pickle.
Hello.
What do you think about this 11 a.m. kickoff?
I mean, I guess because of like the games that day. I guess you got number 1 Georgia playing Georgia Tech, Alabama, and Auburn. Yeah. I don't want to see. I'm kind of blanking on this schedule.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. I guess LSU, and they do so many favors. It feels like for LSU to play so many night games. You get Florida at night. You get such a good run of them that at some point the other foot's going to drop, and you get 11 o'clock A&M. I guess it's Jimbo's fault. One more.
Yeah.
One more thing he can do.
Like, well,
one more peace sign on the way out.
Yeah, they just fired their coach, so you get them out.
Well,
there
I was
early.
just thinking because of last year, it was such a good game.
It was.
A&M snuck up on LSU, so kind of a revenge spot. How about your boy?
Which one?
The kicker for the Denver.
Will Lutz.
Will Lutz, yep.
Got bailed out.
He did get bailed out.
Yeah,
he missed 2 last night.
Sean was going to Sean wanted to fight him.
I think he was going to leave him in Buffalo.
Oh, probably.
I mean, when he missed the first one, I was like, you're in trouble, bro.
Oh, and Sean doesn't forget those things.
I mean, Buffalo, what is the deal with Buffalo?
I don't know what's going on.
Josh Allen he's good for 2 interceptions a game.
And a fumble.
One really bad interception, and then the other one just like the receiver will drop it, interception.
Russ gets a win.
Russ was cooking last night.
He played good last night.
He did.
That touchdown pass he threw to Sutton. I mean, that thing was
24 of 29 for 193.
All right,
that's good.
Jump inside the chat if you don't mind. Give us a like, share, and follow. I see a lot of people melting about the 11 a.m. start for Texas A&M. Look, ideally, LSU fans don't like 11 a.m. starts. I get it. But as far as the argument that people won't see Jaden Daniels, I would argue that it would be the other way, right? Like Jaden Daniels is going to play in the first window of the day. If he shines, which we all expect him to do, it's nothing but going to be Jaden Daniels highlights from 3 o'clock until 2 o'clock in the morning that's playing inside of every update, every highlight show, everybody who's watching football all throughout the Saturday. I believe this to be not a burden for LSU. I don't think that it's a huge story. I think, from a personal standpoint, I get why people don't like getting up early and watching football, before lunch in Tiger Stadium. It's just not the norm. And, the ideal situation, the first, your first pick would be able to watch a night game in Tiger Stadium, especially an SEC Western Division night game inside Tiger Stadium. But as far as the argument of nobody's going to see Jaden Daniels play, I would argue to the contrary. I would say that everybody is going to be able to see Jaden Daniels play. They may not watch him live, but they will see the impact that he has on the day because his highlights are going to be playing throughout every game, throughout every highlight show, all throughout that college football Saturday. So, look, I'm with you. If you had your choice, you would like to see a 6:30, 7 o'clock game inside Tiger Stadium versus Texas A&M. But as far as the 11 a.m. game starts, with nobody being able to see Jaden Daniels or LSU, I think that a lot of people will be able to see him.
You'll be going up against Ohio State, Michigan, though.
Like I said, I don't think that a lot of people will watch the game live.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I don't think that everybody's going to be dialed in and watching the game live. People will be going back and forth to it. LSU, the brand, and Texas A&M, for that matter, is going to pull eyeballs to a football game. Michigan, Ohio State, obviously, is going to be the dominant matchup of the national scale. But as far as LSU not getting the attention, or Jaden Daniels not getting the attention that he is due, I believe he will. And I think yesterday you really saw the kickoff to the Jaden Daniels hype train moving away from the tracks, starting down the tracks. The national media, people throughout the SEC, Cole Kubelik has a loud voice in the league. He's a guy that called the game on Saturday night versus Florida. He was in Tiger Stadium. He is beating the drum for Jaden Daniels. People around the country, Dusty Dvorak, who does college football shows all throughout the day on Sirius XM 84, Sirius XM 82, college football themed shows. And I have listened to him yesterday on 2 of his shows, and he was clamoring for Jaden Daniels. Yesterday on Pardon the Interruption, Michael Wilbon and Tony Kornheiser asked about the Heisman favorites after the weekend. They went through everybody. After everybody had been announced, Tony Kornheiser said, yeah, but nobody's doing what Jaden Daniels is doing. And went on a 3-minute Jaden Daniels parade tour to remind everybody what LSU's quarterback is doing. I think everybody understands now that he's a contender. He's in the mix. People are, understand. If you didn't know about him before Saturday, I feel like if you're a college football fan, you know about him now. And you don't have to be somebody's prime demographic. You don't have to be a college football, prime customer to know who he is. I think people that are in or around the sport now are figuring out who he is. So I really do think that Jaden Daniels will not be robbed. He will not be
I guess taken away from the spotlight.
Penalized.
Right.
He won't be penalized for playing in that time slot.
And you'll get a lot of the Maserati Marv contingency against Jaden Daniels for that. So at least it'll probably be a national conversation as far because they're trying to shoehorn him into the Heisman,
Coach,
I guess, debate.
Hey,
that's not me.
I get it, and I understand why they want him in the Heisman conversation. I get it. He has the talent. He has all of this. He doesn't even have more yards than Malik Neighbors. So that should be like if he's up there, they should put Malik up there too. Then Malik should get sent to New York too.
That would be unbelievable.
I mean, if you're gonna send Marvin Harrison with less yards and less touchdowns.
So if you have to pick they said it was going to be 4 in New York this year. If you have to pick your 4, it's Bo Nix, Michael Penix,
Jaden Daniels, and Marvin Harrison.
Jr.
Yeah. I mean, and I'm fine with those 4. Mm-hmm. Right?
Just don't send J.J. McCarthy or Jordan Travis.
J.J. McCarthy threw for 60 yards last week. I think he kind of took himself out the running. Michigan is a whole dumpster fire.
America's team.
Harbaugh is acting like nothing happened.
I love how Harbaugh handles this.
That's America's team. What are you talking about?
Like I think the way that Harbaugh handles the NCAA, the way that he handles controversy is ideal.
Give me back to the NFL.
Who's got it better than us? No,
not you, buddy.
That is the most.
Harbaugh, you can't even coach the team.
The first 3 minutes of the presser.
That is the most random thing I've
we
ever
like to
seen
say around here. Who's got it better than us? Nobody.
I mean, he's been saying that for years since he was with the Niners.
It's just like,
Harbaugh,
where are
you're
we?
about to lose your job. Well,
Jim, you're about to get fired.
You're about to get fired.
You can't coach for the rest of the season.
Could you imagine what it would be like to be like in charge of him?
Oh God!
Like he's not listening to anybody. Like, hey Jim, here's our prepared statement. Like, I need you to go out there and read this for the university. Gotcha. Who's got it better than us?
I think I'm gonna
got it.
Rally the troops.
Yeah, sweet.
I think I'm gonna go off the dome.
Yeah, I got it. I know what I'm gonna say.
He's like pointing to the SID, like, I think I'm gonna go off the dome.
Imagine him in the back just going, "Oh God, here we go."
Shit.
But he's the most unhinged, put together coach. Like, you trust him.
Yeah.
But like, he's got the best interest of Michigan at heart, but he's just reckless. He's just out there doing whatever he wants because he's been in football for so long. Between John and his father, he's just like, this is how you coach a football team. Y'all can't tell me which way's up. I know how to do it.
He kind of reminds me of like a smart Les Miles.
Yeah.
Like a really smart Les Miles.
Mm-hmm.
He's like
football smart.
Right. It's like you don't know what he's going to say in the media, but he's also a great football coach. So it's like you can't discount that.
Yeah, he's got you. Kind of got you
By the balls.
Yeah, he's got you by the nuts.
America's team.
Right.
I'm a win. I mean, where was Michigan without him?
Oh, they were
Lost.
They were in a bad place.
Lost.
Couldn't beat Ohio State.
And now they beat him the last 2 years. And he won't be able to coach the game. So he can practice. He can go to all the practices, right? And when it comes Saturday, he can't travel with the team.
He can do everything but go to the game.
He can't go. He's not in the booth either.
He can't be in the stadium.
Oh God. Okay.
So
he's like legit like banned, like restraining order type of thing.
Like he's like
They got eyes on him.
They got people like at the gates looking out for Harbaugh.
He might have to get in touch with this guy about the disguises, man.
I was about to say, if you're Michigan, why wouldn't you just have everybody dressed the same? Put on the Michigan hat, the sweater,
God.
the khakis, and the cleats. Be like, which one?
And
where is he?
Make him like the Eminem video.
Yeah.
Right. And what does the NCAA do if they do bring him on the sideline?
That's a great question.
Like,
it's a great question. I have no. I wouldn't even know what power they would yield. I don't know what they could say.
Because Michigan's AD already came out and said he ain't backing down off Harbaugh, so they're locked in over there.
Yeah, they offered him a
I
contract.
want the Michigan judge with the Michigan DA seeing and hearing the appeal. I mean, I want this thing to get so soap opera that like he's coaching. You know, like the Michigan judge said he could.
Judge Judy, he's a huge fan.
The guy that's got the winged hat on.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like
the whistle. But I can't. This would be an all-timer if they made this a public, like televised court appearance.
What if
because they all have to go. Like he's going to court.
Oh no, he's not going. He's going to speak. Like
right.
Like they were like,
he's testifying.
Are you going? He was like, oh, I'm going to talk.
Yeah, it's like my time to shine.
I'm not going. He was like, I'm going to speak. he references high school. He references high school civics class. 40 years ago, where he was like, the one takeaway I had from that class was that you are innocent until you're proven guilty.
Harbaugh's head pops up in class like, I like that.
I like that.
I mean, it's just, he's going in, man. I mean, like, and it would not surprise me if he wins.
Yeah,
Is Stallion's going to be there?
I got no idea.
They might have to depose him. Might have to like sit him
Where
down,
is he?
Put him on camera.
In Ohio State's practice room, in the film room.
FBI is looking for him right now.
Goodness,
it's a wild one. All right, so we got sound from Brian Kelly yesterday. I love how Brian Kelly's handling this too, man. He's going all in. He's pounding the podium for his guys, both Malik Neighbors and Jaden Daniels yesterday, getting a lot of Heisman and Biletnikoff backing from their head coach, and it makes a ton of sense. I love the way that he's handling this. I think that he cannot allow college football fans, voters, and media to forget about what's going on in Baton Rouge because, look, nobody's playing like Jaden Daniels and this LSU offense is. Malik Neighbors. I mean, these guys are far and away, in my opinion, the best at their position, and they need to be honored for that. And Jaden Daniels is the best player in the sport. You know, I mean, it's too much data now that you have after 10 weeks of football where you have to fairly evaluate and say, look, nobody's played consistently like Daniels has. And if he closes out the last 2 weeks at that rate, he's got to win the award.
You want to hear some numbers?
Yeah, hit me.
Top 3 Heisman candidates versus top 50 defenses. Bo Nix, 1 game, 248 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, 8 rushing yards, and a rushing touchdown. Michael Penix, 4 games, 1,263 yards, 6 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, 25 rushing yards. Jaden Daniels, 5 games, 1,469 yards, 13 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, 486 rushing yards, and 2 touchdowns.
I rest my case.
Who's the outlier?
I mean, like,
and that's against top 50 defenses.
I don't get it. I don't understand why it's taking this long.
It shouldn't even be a
because I am
conversation.
not a subscriber to the LSU hate theory. I don't think that people are out to get LSU. I don't think that people make it their mark every day to make sure LSU does not get the attention that they deserve. I don't think that. I've seen too many times when people come through here that LSU gets a lot of love. Mm-hmm. Going back to the days of Shaq when we were kids, I mean, LSU was all over TV. They were all over preseason rankings. They were all over documentaries that CBS was shooting. They were all wanting access to LSU to bring that into everybody's living room. Same that happened with Burrow in 2019. in that team. I mean, there's too many storylines of LSU getting the respect that they're due to believe that there's people at a high level. Are there people in television, and are there people within the college football playoff committee that don't like LSU? Probably. Do they have enough power to railroad them? I don't believe so. But this feels weird. Like, this feels strange that Daniels has gone out, put up the highlights, and put up the numbers. That's the part that's so confusing, because to me, lazy media, all they really do is look at box scores and stats and say, oh, well, look, he's the best.
He's on the number 5 team in the country.
Right? Like, I mean, like, he's the one that's dominating. Jaden Daniels in the top 10 in the 10 offensive categories, passing efficiency, passing complete. Jaden Daniels is in the top 10 of every stat. Every stat that means anything on the offensive side of football in college in 2023, Jaden Daniels is in the top 10. And in the majority of them, he's in the top 3.
9 out of 10, he's won.
I mean,
don't overthink it.
It's like, what are you thinking?
Well, the narrative has become it's the 3 losses, right? But then that gets debunked very easily.
When did that matter so much? Like, to an award that is given to an individual. And when you look at the individual play and you realize that his team has the best offense in the country, they're better than anybody offensively, and they're playing with an elementary school defense. And they've only lost 3 games. I mean, really? Like,
don't say they haven't entertained you either.
It's mesmerizing to hear.
It's been fun to watch.
All of the.
They
lost 3 games. Well, who cares? He's
leading
every offensive statistical category out there.
All 3 games to top 10 teams.
And it's not one of these cases where it was like a Texas Tech or like an old Baylor where it's like, oh, system offense. This is Jaden Daniels doing it because he was in the same offense last year. This is the maturation process of one year to another. And it's what everybody, the loftiest of expectations were maybe he can make a Burrow-like leap from 2018 to 2019. And it was like, well, that seems impossible. And he did it. And what else do you want to see? I mean, like I said, it's not like they're fighting for bowl eligibility. They're fighting for 10 wins. They've been entertaining and they're on television.
Yeah, I just don't get it. I mean, like, he's the best player in the sport. He's the best quarterback in the game. He's the most clutch player out there. He's the definition of a most valuable player. God. Take him off of his team and watch the wheels fall off.
Please don't.
Like, watch the wheels fall off.
Remember, no slight to us. It's just he's been
this guy is
he's
elite.
In control of the team right now.
The guy is elite, man. He is playing the quarterback position at a level that we've only seen one other guy do, and we swore when we saw it we'd never see it again.
Yes, it's like Jesus has come back. He rolled the rock away.
I mean, here he is just 5 years later showing up and playing at a level that nobody can compete with. As far as competition from an individual standpoint, there's no one player out there that I have seen that dominates and carries his team like Jaden Daniels does. Are there guys out there that are talented and very have the talent to be the centerpiece of their team? Yes, Marvin Harrison, Michael Penix. I mean, all these Bo Nix, these guys are good. Drake May, studs. But I mean, every single Saturday, do they make the plays and carry their team like Jaden Daniels does? It's not even close. It's not even up for debate. And the fact that it's being debated on whether or not this guy deserves to be here is the most confusing part of what I'm watching in college football. It's like, well, what? Don't you all go back to the numbers? Don't you all fall back on the numbers? And the numbers don't at least tell you, for the people that may not be watching him and understand how good and what he means to his team, the numbers don't sell you?
Do you think that it was a little bit of, like, understand what the Vegas odds were before the season where Jaden Daniels was a top 3, top 5 in the Heisman odds, but it felt like nobody in the media was anywhere close to sniffing Jaden Daniels as a Heisman pick. And now that it's become so almost like clear and evident, they don't want to get off their stance of, oh, I picked Marvin Harrison. Bo Nix had a Heisman campaign before the year even started with Nike, and he was on billboards everywhere. And now Michael Penix is just a good fun story. Or it's, he tore two ACLs, he transferred.
I mean, how many times have we been in football, though, that the story just buds in front of your face? I mean, the flower blooms within the season. It's not as if you go in and you're saying, hey, this is my guy, and if he doesn't work out, I'm going to die on this hill. I mean, it's, hey, I thought that this was going to be the guy. He turned out not to be the guy. The story really is in Baton Rouge with what Jaden Daniels and that offense is doing.
And I feel like that happened over the weekend, right? Like every radio show I've listened to.
Like I said, I mean, I think everywhere you turn now, people are paying attention to Jaden Daniels. I mean, he did something that's never been done in the history of the sport.
600 yards?
I mean, the throwing for 200. I mean, the running for 200, the throwing for 350. I mean, it's just like,
what more do I got to do?
What else you want? I mean, what else do you want?
And credit to LSU and Cody Worsham and everybody that works for the LSU, like obviously the social media team, they got that thing rolling quickly.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And that's the power of LSU and the brand. That's what they talk about all the time. Like, you come to LSU, it's not necessarily like Texas A&M NIL, but LSU can make you famous pretty overnight.
Mm-hmm.
And you're seeing that with Jaden Daniels. They put out a commercial yesterday. It's all over social. Like, the train
it's all
is
over
rolling.
Billboards.
Yeah.
Remember our friends over at Jude's Hot Chicken and Shrimp, located at 3930 Burbank Drive. They're open 10:30 to 9:30. You can hit them on social media. You can hit them online, judesbr.com. Make sure and try the shrimp and chicken options with all the sauces like the Nashville Fire and the Nashville Honey. They do make milkshakes as well over there at Jude's Hot Chicken and Shrimp, located at Burbank. Stewie's a regular over there.
I am.
How many times you hit him up, Stewie, this weekend?
I did not go this weekend. I think I went last Thursday.
He did. After you did the first ad read for it,
Yeah.
he was like, you put it in his brain.
He did, and it was just as good as the first time.
Get lost in the sauce over at our friends
Always.
Jude's Hot Chicken and Shrimp. You can follow them on social media at Judes_BR. At Judes_BR is where you hit them on social media. Great game day spot if you want to find them over on Burbank. 3930 Burbank. Jude's Hot Chicken and Shrimp. Online, judesbr.com. All right, this Brian Kelly sound from yesterday. Let's get to it. Kelly yesterday, this is the opening statement here as him addressing LSU, Jaden Daniels, and where his quarterback stands.
Somebody's got to dress up. All right, good afternoon. Do a quick recap of the Florida game. I think we start off with just a great environment in Tiger Stadium. Excited to see our fan base come out and create a great atmosphere for our football team. Again, I think what's important to point out was an incredible individual performance by Jaden Daniels, who certainly put himself as a Heisman candidate with that performance. But it's been a body of work that certainly, I think he's number one in the nation in total offense, passing touchdowns, rushing yards by a quarterback, pass efficiency. Just an incredible night of offensive football and scoring 52 points, over 700 yards in total offense. Again, the offense ranks top 10 in the nation in 9 categories, number 1 in the nation in total offense, pass efficiency, and plays of 20-plus yards. Also, Jaden Daniels was named the SEC Offensive Player of the Week, and Charles Turner was the SEC Offensive Lineman of the Week. So those awards keep coming down on this offensive group that has been elite all year. So it was fun to watch them. And again, a gritty performance by our football team. We weren't perfect, but our guys played hard for 4 quarters. And, respect the competition, being in the SEC, that you're going to get everybody's best. And I thought we got our opponent's best Saturday night. We flipped the script now and, get ready for a Georgia State team that, obviously comes in with nothing to lose, everything to gain. And for us, still about, looking towards getting better each and every week. This will be about our preparation. This will be about how we get better in all facets. We want to continue to work towards, our offensive production being consistent week in and week out. We have players that are, certainly at the pinnacle of their particular position that want to continue to stay there, and certainly defensively continue to grow. We're playing a lot of young players. We want them to continue to get better at their craft as well. So excited to be back home again, and we finished the season at home. It's been obviously for us difficult road games. Our team has battled, put ourselves in a position now to finish the season strong. So we'll open it up to questions.
That was Kelly yesterday meeting with the media and talking about his quarterback. Here he is speaking about more on his quarterback, this time off the field.
Process with him.
Approachable. And when I say approachable, I mean he's never been a guy that has built a bubble around himself. He has been a guy that has, I think, made himself available to everybody on the team, whether it's an offensive player or a defensive player. And I think that, when somebody comes in and transfers in, their guard is up. His has always been one where, he's been approachable. He's always been somebody that has reached out to others on our football team. And I just think that's made our entire team embrace him because he's been so readily available to everybody on our team, not just the offensive players, but the defensive players. And his demeanor, his personality, you see him smiling on the sideline all the time. That's the way he is, whether he's in meetings or whether he's in the football building. He has that personality, and I think it's infectious.
More on Daniels. This is Daniels on his play on the field, on how it has helped the recruiting pitch for LSU at the quarterback position.
Well, I think in certain instances, if Jaden Daniels was coming back next year, it certainly affects it in some fashion. Or let's say he was a sophomore, it certainly would affect it a little bit, right? But now that he is certainly in his last season of competition, it opens up just the fact that, player development and the ability to compete for the Heisman Trophy exists at LSU, because it's not only right now, but it happened a few years ago with another LSU quarterback. So now you're starting to build not an accident, but a trend here at LSU. So that obviously speaks to recruiting and the ability to recruit elite quarterbacks to LSU.
The recruiting message definitely picking up steam on the quarterback spot. Bryce Underwood, of course, in LSU's crosshairs, the number one quarterback, the number one player in the country, which has definitely helped that message seep through from a messaging standpoint from the coaching staff. Speaking of the coaching staff, this is 6 Stewie. Jimmy Lindsey returned to action on Saturday night. Brian Kelly explained his role.
Start integrating back with you guys.
Yeah, he has just finished his treatments. So he is in a part-time capacity, really. We're so excited about where he is medically, but there are contingencies in terms of what he can do. He's not out there, 15 hours a day and doing those things, but we're gradually, for his own health, we're bringing him back much more in an administrative role.
So that is Brian Kelly on Jimmy Lindsey, as you can hear there, the administrative role for Lindsey. I would expect them to really put somebody in place there from a defensive line standpoint pretty quickly who can get on the job and be effective and work at this gig and begin to bring players in and begin to develop. We've talked a lot about defensive back throughout the season as a place and a position group on the field that LSU is really set back on right now. The same can be said for defensive tackle, especially when you look to the future of it and down the line. They have missed in recruiting on many of players. It is not Jimmy Lindsey's fault Jimmy Lindsey is just the latest in line of a revolving door of defensive line coaches that have come here and not been able to stick and not be able to consistently get out on the trail and sell a message. And that has affected LSU's room. That has affected the ability to, really set the room up and put players in it and develop guys. On the opposite side of the ball, offensively, the coaching staff is more than doing their job, right? I mean, you're talking about recruiting the best players in the country, getting them to LSU, and then watching them and developing them into future pros. Here is Brian Kelly explaining the role and the job that guys like Mike Denbrock, Joe Sloan have done on the offensive side of the ball.
Sure. Yeah, look, there's an offensive coordinator that is responsible for, orchestrating this and play calling, has a lot to do with it. When he's not, when the offense is not running well, I mean, Matt House has gotten a ton of criticism this year as the defensive coordinator. If our offense isn't going well, Mike Denbrock will get a ton of criticism for, what would be happening on offense. So he deserves a lot of credit for what's happening on the offensive side of the ball. He is, he's the chief play caller. So that comes with the job, right? That comes with the title. But it is a shared responsibility. Joe Sloan is intimately involved in everything we do. Cortez Hankton is. Brad is. Coach Wilson. Frank does an incredible job in factoring in a number of those layers as well. So there's somebody that's going to get a lot of the credit because of the title, but everybody has a shared responsibility. And when it comes to the quarterback, Joe Sloan should get a lion's share of the credit because he's in that room with them every single day.
That's a great soundbite. When you think of it, right? You think about credit, you think about criticism, you think about what we talk about in these trades, and it's such a outcome trade, right? I mean, it's judged, measured on the wins, the losses, the outcome, the production, the effectiveness of it, and we sure as hell have pounded on Matt House, right, and the defensive staff, and deservedly so. The same has to happen from the offensive staff with the praise and compliments that they deserve in the development of what's happening on that side of the ball. And, that's why the coaching profession is, it's wild in the emotion of it because, one day you're up, next day you're down. From Matt House last season to where he is this year, it's been, a complete 180-degree turn from a feeling, from a confidence, from a trust standpoint, from at least the fans to that side of the ball. And from an offensive standpoint, how much faith do you have in Joe Sloan? How much faith do you have in Mike Denbrock, Cortez Hankton, Frank Wilson, and krewe? But they're rolling out every Saturday this product that is, it's just so potent. It's so good. And deservedly, they need the recognition on that. He did update the status of John Emery, and we don't have to play the bite here, but it is just Brian Kelly confirming that John Emery did, in fact, tear his ACL and will be out for the remainder of the season, obviously. This is a story that you hate to hear.
Man can't catch a break.
And, from Emery's standpoint, it's just been, it just now his LSU football career chapter closes, and there is a little bit of what if, there is a little bit of what could have been. There are some highs, there's definitely some lows, but I think when you got the commitment from the number one back in the country back in 2018 and was hoping what he was going to be, it's disappointing for him. It's sad for him in the way that it ends because
we got that Game of Thrones season finale.
It was
for sure.
Started off great. Game of Thrones season 1 was awesome. John Emery season 1 was fantastic.
Yep.
I thought we were about to see a movie, but I just feel bad for him because I don't know what he's gonna do.
Yeah, it'll be.
The highs were so high though.
They were great.
I mean, the touchdown against Bama.
They were great.
He could go
touchdown against Florida.
Auburn.
Like it's so many moments where you could just go back and be like, he
high
wowed.
stepping.
Yes, he wowed us so many times.
I mean, Shaq in the background.
Oh god. I mean, even Saturday, the movie.
Oh
made
my
at the line,
God,
Coach. I mean, people forget. Like in 2019, they were like trying to make him a part of the offense. They gave him 3 touches against Georgia Southern,
and he
nearly scored on one of them, and he made it all the way until the Florida game. As far as playing, and then he made one mistake, and then Burrow, MF'd him out of the game, and you never saw John Emery again. But I mean,
even that was a movie.
I mean, it was.
Yep. He
what scores, an opening act for John Emery.
Then he scores in the playoff.
Yeah,
against Oklahoma.
That's right.
He just kept popping up.
I mean, they obviously loved him.
Yeah, for sure.
Right? Like, I mean, they were like, this kid is going to be a player.
Yes.
Because the high school highlights of John Emery are
the LSU highlights. The highs are hot, the lows are low.
I mean, you ever seen his spark?
Really and truly, the first move he made on Saturday night to miss that guy in the hole was like that was like a retro
OG
Emery.
John Emery
from the opening.
That's what he would do. Like you think you'd have him, and you wouldn't touch him. You would whiff.
And it felt like he was about to go off.
Oh, he was about to.
They were about to let him cook.
He was feeling it.
He made one too many moves.
I don't know what he
really. I mean, like he was feeling it so much.
He turned completely around.
He was
in his bag.
Yeah, he could have, because he definitely probably could have just kept running and scored.
Of course, but John's gonna go full John.
Yeah,
that's what makes him great.
This is 9. Kelly talking about the best wide receiver in the country.
It's John Emery.
I think he's the best wide receiver in the country, and I'm sure that. Coach Day is going to say that his guy is the best, and I totally understand that. But Malik Neighbors, in terms of what he does, on jet sweeps, what he does in terms of yards after the catching the ball down the field, I think he is, multi-dimensional in what he does, leading the country in receiving yards. I think he's the best receiver in the country and deserving of being a Blitnikoff award winner.
Agreed. Hit that like button. We're going to talk to Brooke Kirchhofer here coming up in a couple of minutes. Brooke will give us the latest on the New Orleans Saints. What's going on with Derek Carr? What's the latest at the quarterback situation? We will talk to her about this defense as well. Come back with us. New Orleans Saints discussion, just like we do every Tuesday here with Brooke Kirchhofer. A conversation brought to you by our friends over at Go Roof. Remember, online at GEAUXroof.com, GEAUXroof.com. You can call them at 225-927-8300, 225-927-8300. You get a 2-year free workmanship guarantee with all new roof installations with our friends over at Go Roof. You can count on Go Roof for roof repair, roof installation, or roof maintenance. That's residential roofing, commercial roofing, or just roofing repairs. Online, GEAUXroof.com, GEAUXroof.com. Some rain come through over the last couple of hours here in Baton Rouge. If you see any leaks, if you have some roof issues, get in touch with Go Roof today. They'll be up on the roof. They can diagnose the problem. They'll work directly with the insurance company and take the headaches out for you. Online, GEAUXroof.com. A beautiful roof every single time. Back with Brooke Kirchhofer next here on the Jordy Culotta Show, built by R&B.
Now I'm just driving around it. They said I needed soul searching, I already found it. I ain't like my other side, now I'm sounding astounded. Drive by and let it ride like a whip in a Tesla.
Red Stick Sports, a local staple in Baton Rouge to all sports fans, was founded back in 1981 and has remained a family business for over 40 years. Today, they still have the great selection on the floor, but they're also a leader in custom apparel for businesses, sports teams, and other groups. Take it from us, everybody over here at FM Digital Media. They help us out with all of our apparel. Let them help you out today. Go ask for Cody over at Red Stick Sports. Check him out online at redsticksports.biz.
The Jordy Culotta Show is brought to you by A-Bears Lawn Maintenance. Commercial or residential, A-Bears Lawn Maintenance is ready to work. A-Bears can tackle all your homeowners association requirements. Call Blake at 225-485-8022. A-Bears Lawn Maintenance.
In a wreck, Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys is ready to go to work for you. Come meet your team.
I'm your intake specialist. I coordinate your case and connect you with your attorney and paralegal.
That's us, your legal team.
Thanks.
And we'll fight to get you every dollar you deserve.
I'm your settlements and disbursement manager, and I'm here to get you paid on time.
I'm attorney Gordon McKernan. Put our team to work today. Just call us. Get it done.
Hey Tiger fans, when you're traveling through Natchez, Mississippi, make sure to visit Tom and Wright Granning at Go Mart and On The Go Deli, where you can fill up your tank and your belly. Go Mart has clean restrooms, community coffee, an awesome beer cave, and a great selection of anything you may need on your trip. Located at 4 Sergeant Prentice Drive as you're entering Natchez on the left. Also stop by Wardo's Po' Boys at 309 North Broadway on the beautiful Natchez Bluff, where the Po' Boys are so good you'll swear you're in Cajun country.
At Ochsner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Ochsner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
All right, buddy. Make it a good shot. Oh, yeah. Sticking the roof in.
For a hole in your roof, for a whole new roof, go roof. Roof, roof, go roof.
Hey, Greg, the roof up? Roof's up. Roof's up. Roof's up. Roof's up. Roof's up. Roof's up. Beautiful roof every single time. True. True.
Well, the Ochsner Andrews Sports Medicine Institute collaborative effort was an idea from Dr. Andrews and myself to bring together two great names, the Andrews name and the Ochsner name, to elevate the quality of care for athletes in the state of Louisiana, where he's from.
I always thought I would come back to Louisiana and practice orthopedics with my subspecialty being sports medicine. This was an opportunity through Ochsner's to come back and work the entire state to help develop and take sports medicine to a new level.
As an orthopedic surgeon, what this means in the future in terms of, access for our community to the type of care that Dr. Andrews pioneered, words can't describe how valuable that is.
Ochsner has a great opportunity here to really grow, and Dr. Burnham, of course, is the mainstay of making that happen. If you want to have first-class sports medicine care, check in with Dr. Burnham and his group, and you'll be more than impressed and pleased.
I'm Tom Granick with Go Martin, Wardo's Po' Boys in Natchez, Mississippi. On behalf of the Granick family, we invite you to run, walk, or stroll in the second annual Rudolph Roll. Held on the beautiful Natchez Bluff, this holiday event will kick off at 8 a.m. on December 9th and will include a 10K, 5K, and 1 mile kids fun run. Along with the race, there will be live music, drinks, and of course, po' boys. We're looking forward to an even bigger party this year. For more information, please check out the link on Wardo's Facebook page or scan the QR code. Hope to see y'all there.
Pressure never fazed me cause I'm bigger than pressure. I'm on my grind, bullshit, can't fit on my schedule. I'ma do what's best with me, you can keep all your lectures. Spend the summer stacking bread, might be gone till November. Pulling up like Trae Young just to freeze up December. I got niggas on the block like traditional sinners. OGs love me so I hang with traditional.
All right, welcome back here, Jordy Culotta Show live here on this Tuesday. Remember, we are brought to you by Katie's Restaurant down in New Orleans on Iberville Street, one of our favorites. Stop in and see Scott Craig and the crew down at Katie's. Might see Brooke Kirchhofer down there, NewOrleans.football. She covers the Saints for the crew. They were up in Minnesota this weekend. Brutal loss for the Saints. They lose Derek Carr, their quarterback. Jameis comes in and just goes epic Jameis.
It's got the full experience.
Rolls left, throws all the way back right, ends the game into a triple coverage pick. I mean,
I'm about to empty the clip, coach.
Retro.
I don't think they called a run play when he was in. I'm audibling.
Turtle. If they did.
Turtle.
It never made it to the line of scrimmage. Here to help us break it down is the best, Brooke Kirchhofer, as she is always here with us every Tuesday, rocking the gear from NewOrleans.football. As you can catch her here every Tuesday with us. Brooke, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, guys. Yeah, I got to rock the hat. It's the bye week. It's the bye week.
I feel that.
Great job for it.
Brooke, Minnesota, obviously the Saints struggle up there offensively, can't get it going, both offensively and defensively. You guys made the trip from New Orleans out football. What was it about Sunday that the Saints just could not get over the hump?
Everything. It was so bad. It was so bad this weekend there. Look, offensively, couldn't move the ball, had a field goal at halftime, under, I believe, just around 110 offensive yards. Meanwhile, Minnesota is absolutely teeing off on with with Joshua Dobbs, who is his very first time starting in US Bank Stadium, just his second time playing with this Vikings team. You wouldn't have known it.
Could have fooled
had
me.
you not known. Could have fooled a lot of people. He picked up almost 300 yards at halftime alone. And really the only saving grace to make this an 8-point game was one, Jameis Winston coming in and kind of providing a spark. Like you mentioned, you get the Jameis Winston experience, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Also what helped the Saints is for some reason Minnesota went away from the quarterback runs, the quarterback scrambles. It was the traditional run game, and that's what the Saints were able to defend in the second half well. I don't know why the Minnesota Vikings went away from the run plan they had in the first half, because it was just torching the Saints defense.
What is going on with the defense, Brooke? I mean, a couple of weeks ago we were talking championship level worthy. We were asking the question at least. Now after watching on Sunday, they have some holes everywhere. What is it with this group that seems to be falling apart?
Mobile quarterbacks, it has been a problem for this team for years. Dennis Allen, the way that he approaches mobile quarterbacks is kind of like to just corral them instead of collapsing the pocket early. It's not working, whatever they have been doing, and it was so frustrating for this team, especially talking with them in the locker room after the loss. I mean, Malcolm Roach was almost in tears. The rest of the guys were just so frustrated of, yeah, come on, come into the locker room. What do you want to know? Like, I know what you're going to ask. This is what we talked about all week. We failed at doing it. He was able to run everywhere. We weren't able to keep him in the pocket. When we tried, he was able to move out and extend plays with his legs. I mean, he only had 44 rushing yards at the end of the game, but if you were to account for the scrambling yards or that go into the passing yards, I mean, he probably ran for over 100 yards in this game if you count the plays where he just kept it alive and then dumped it off to somebody. I mean, Joshua Dobbs did everything right, at least through the first 3 quarters, and the defense did everything wrong. And they better get it together, because with the Falcons after the bye week, if you get Taylor Heineke, you have more of a mobile quarterback. But as we've seen, the Saints make non-mobile quarterbacks mobile, like a Trevor Lawrence and a Tyson Bagent. So whether it's Desmond Ridder or Taylor Heineke, this defense needs to get back on track. This offense has a lot of questions. Derek Carr is believed to have not sustained any serious injuries with that right shoulder. He is in concussion protocol. Michael Thomas, we don't really know the full extent. So Dennis Allen said he does have a significant injury, but from the sources we heard after the game, it was a matter of more of the team being kind of safe with that knee injury. We believe that he got the leg caught in the turf there in Minnesota. So we'll see there, but the big concern is Marshawn Lattimore, who does have a high ankle sprain. As we know, if you'd have an ankle sprain, you would prefer to have the low ankle sprain because the timetable to come back is a little bit quicker. With the high ankle sprain, you really aren't sure. Right now they're saying it's week to week, but we will see. You know, the Saints bye week couldn't come at a better time, but man, this was a game where I believe at least 6 Saints got injured in this game. Thankfully, only 2 of them are the ones that are kind of a big concern. Malcolm Roach left the game with Marshawn Lattimore at the end, and Malcolm Roach is fine. Alontae Taylor left at one point. He was fine. It looked like Chris Olave pulled up at one point. He is also fine. Perfect time for a bye week, and they don't have any choice but to get back, get set, and figure things out. As far as the coaching front, we do not expect any changes to come this week. Unfortunately for Saints fans, this is probably what it's going to look like for the rest of the season. Now it's a matter of, look, you still are in first place in the division. It's so weird. They're sitting at 5-5. They do still have an opportunity to stay on this path and potentially make the playoffs. It's crazy to even be saying that right now, given the Saints have just been struggling now on both sides of the ball.
Do you expect? I know that Dennis Allen kind of shut this down after the game on quarterback and where they go from the future standpoint. But, Brooke, I got to be honest, just a feeling here. When Jameis is in the game, it feels like you have a chance. I mean, I don't feel like you've got a chance to – I mean, I know that it could blow up real quick.
It's worth the price of admission.
But it does feel like the ball is going to be in the air down the field with a chance to make the play. What do you feel from this quarterback position on how this thing shakes out the next couple of weeks?
You have to think about it, right? I mean, that's what you would imagine. Yes, it's the Jameis experience where it's kind of, you kind of know what you're going to get. It's going to be this roller coaster. Hey, it's the first time I've watched this offense in a couple weeks since the Indy game and been like, wow, this is so fun to watch. The Jameis Winston throw to A.T. Perry, we are still trying to figure out how he made that play happen. Incredible. A.T. Perry's very first NFL touchdown. But no, Dennis Allen said Derek Carr is still our quarterback. It's what we're going with. Look, let me just show you some of the stats here. So Derek Carr completed 13 of 18 passes for 110 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions. Jameis Winston completed 13 of 25 passes for 122 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. So it's
right.
Yeah. I mean, you get what you get with Jameis Winston, but for me, it was he injected life into that game. And we talked with the guys in post game, and it was we're in it. Like Jameis got them at least within reach of it, at least to tie it at the end of the game. And look, if you go and watch one, I believe it was one of the series, Jameis Winston put it on Taysom Hill perfectly twice, drop. And I can't remember who he threw to right after that. Same thing. I mean, it wasn't all on Jameis Winston in the end of that game. There were opportunities for the Saints to at least tie it. But when you go into halftime down as much as they did, man, it was just brutal. You just didn't see the light at the end of the tunnel for the Saints to come out of this one with a win. Unfortunately, they head into the bye week now, kind of 5-5. They haven't had an opportunity to at least go 6-4. It's just not the situation the Saints are in now.
Brooke, the turf in Minnesota. Is the NFL going to do something about this? I believe they call it this. Is it slit turf or this slit film turf that they have out in Los Angeles? They have it in Minnesota. They have it in some of the newer the newer fields. And I saw Travis Kelce went down a couple of weeks ago for KC when they were playing Minnesota. And Mike Thomas retweeted something that an ESPN reporter who covers the Minnesota Vikings wrote about the turf. Have you heard anything, at least internally, from an NFL standpoint on a remedy for this? Because this seems to be an issue. I know Odell tore his knee up in the Super Bowl on this type of turf. Is there anything working here in the NFL?
It's got to be something they have to look at because it is a serious concern. Like I said, from sources we heard after the game, it was a matter of Michael Thomas's knee kind of getting stuck or his leg getting stuck in the turf and that affecting his knee. So Nick and I actually went after the game and walked the length of the field. And you can trip walking in regular shoes at a regular walking pace on that turf. It does have the slits on it to where it's every other, 5, 10, or probably 10, every 10 yards, you can it has that divot that's up where the slits are.
Yeah, it's like a puzzle piece,
you can't if you can't walk on, why would you want your team to play on it? Like I'd imagine Minnesota would want to get that changed. There were some opinions even too about the new turf that's in the Superdome. So we know how turf is around the league, what the general statistics are as far as injuries. Look, if it were up to the players, every stadium would have natural grass. Now you have some situations where it's the Superdome where no light is coming in, so it'd be really hard to keep the grass alive. But it's something they really have to consider and consider changing pretty soon. Yeah, I mean, exactly. Thank you. No more excuses. Figure it out, right? If the sun's not coming into the dome, figure out how to put grass in there. Even if you have to lay it down each week, I don't know, but something has to change. I mean, for us to just walk on the field and it was that bad that even we were tripping on it, I can't imagine if a cleat catches it. I mean, I'd imagine you go straight down or if you've got somebody pulling you down and your foot gets caught, it's room for injury right there.
So Saints fall back to 500 heading into the bye week. How do you expect they use this week, Brooke?
I'd like to say it's to get coaching back on track. I mean, we're at a point right now where when the team is playing like it is and where it seems like it's a lot of individuals and not necessarily a team, that does get back to coaching. And it's got to be the defensive line. It's got to be secondary. It's got to be offensive line. It's got to be the wide receivers. I mean, why did the wide receivers change their body language when Jameis Winston came into the game? Why was the defensive line so terrible again against a mobile quarterback? And when we asked Malcolm Roach about it in postgame, he said, even if a coach makes a bad play call, we still have to do it to the best of our ability. That's the first time I've heard somebody on the defense call out coaching. And when you have players that continue to say that week after week, we've heard it from the offensive side of the ball. Now we're hearing it from the defensive side of the ball. They have to get coaching under control and figure out how to manage to bring this team together for the rest of the season. You've got 7 games left. You are in a good position. And if they're still riding for Dennis Allen, if they don't get to the playoffs, they're putting their head coach in a position to get fired. I think there is going to be a lot of questions surrounding the offensive coordinator. I think that seat is more hot than the head coach, but the head coach is also the defensive coordinator. We have now seen 2 back-to-back terrible defensive performances. Those 5 takeaways are going to cloud 2 weeks ago, okay? But three quarters into that game 2 weeks ago, it was one of the worst defensive performances I've ever seen from the Saints in my lifetime. So it's got to get corrected immediately. You do have the week off. Yes, Dennis Allen kind of lets his players go and take several days off, but
maybe
it's
not
such
Michael
a hard
Thomas this week.
Yeah, gosh, I know. Can we have a quiet bye week, please? Everybody handle their business off the field, but no, it's a weird situation to be in because if you're the head coach, you most likely want everybody to stay in this week and stay in the facility and figure things out and get things corrected, but it's the bye week. He's going to let his players off for the week. You hope when they come back to get corrected next Monday that they can start putting things together and get ready for the Atlanta Falcons on the road. This is the first time they're playing the Falcons this year. It's a really good opportunity for the Saints to stay in good position in the division, but we'll see what happens.
Brooke, good to see you. Have a good week. Have a good bye week. We will talk to you next week as the Saints get ready for Atlanta.
Sounds good, guys. Thanks. Have a good week.
There she is, Brooke Kirchhofer, checking in from New Orleans.football. Make sure and follow them online and read their work. You can follow her on social media at Brooke Chesney if you want to keep up with what's happening with the New Orleans Saints. New Orleans.football. New Orleans.football online. Hour 2 next, Jordy Culotta Show. Come back with us as we are built by R&B every single day.
Shout out to Nip. They start to think you falling off and they starting to flip. Circumstances start to change and they jump in the ship. Only ones that really matter who's tied to your hip. They tried to push you to the side because they thought you would quit.
If you're in the market for a mortgage lender, you need to start with Doug Bickley and his team. Bickley has built a crew with over 50 years of combined lending experience. They've been in business for over 20 years, and they love helping their clients achieve the American dream of home ownership. They're also key with working in real estate agents and helping their clients getting same-day pre-approval. They average about 1 buyer a day getting them in a home. If you want to get in touch with Doug and his crew, it's easy. Call them 225-214-5154. 225-214-5154. Go see the Bickley team today. They're located on the corner of Coursey Boulevard and Sherwood Forest right here in Baton Rouge.
What's up?
What's happening?
Chilling with a couple of cool guys. You?
Chilling and watching some tube. Hold on.
Did you do it?
Hold on. Did you do it?
Roof's up.
Hold on.
Roof's up?
Roof's up!
Roof's up!
Hold on. Hold on. Hold on.
Beautiful roof every single time.
True. True.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one. You. Auctioneer Andrews Institute. Long live you.
You can't put the cart before the horse. That'd be like, will you marry me?
Do I know you?
Never sign a contract with a roofer before he gets on your roof. Call Go Roof instead. We offer a free, no-obligation inspection. A beautiful roof every single time. Bobby, goes in the front.
Roof, roof, Go Roof.
Belmont Stakes Race Trainer.
I'm sticking to roofing.
Roof, roof, Go Roof.
Kentucky Derby training. I'm sticking to roofing.
Roof, roof, Go Roof.
Head health is incredibly important for our student athletes. One of the best ways we're trying to address concussions is on the front end. We're trying to prevent these before they happen. And a big part of that is speaking to the athletes, letting them know what to expect. Okay, speaking to the parents, what to look out for, talking to the coaches so they know the vital importance. Some of the big things we're looking for with a concussion, which is, a traumatic brain injury, is one, was there a mechanism? Was there an injury that took place that could lead to this? Often a direct blow to the head, a head-to-head hit. If someone's showing signs of concussion, our first step is always to remove them from activity, get them to a place where there's less stimuli, where we can really just sit down and get a feel for the athlete, what they're feeling. We're looking for headache, we're looking for dizziness, any sign that coordination is off, that something's just not right. Get a good evaluation of them to understand what's going on. It's not worth the risk that may be there to kind of ignore it, because there are very serious consequences if we don't treat a concussion properly.
Don't let concerns about shifts in the market disrupt your long-term financial goals. Edward Jones financial advisor Daniel Newman can help. He'll work with you on an investment strategy for long-term results. Edward Jones can give you the tools and knowledge for a steady approach to hitting your financial targets. Get started today by calling Daniel Newman at 225-261-8262. 225-261-8262. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
Malik Neighbors, a wide receiver.
Favorite pregame meal?
Popeyes.
What would winning a national championship mean to you?
It would mean a lot to me because, we seen a lot of the greats come through here, won their national championship, got, remembered for life.
If you could have one superpower, what would it be?
Probably fly. That or telekinesis.
What's the best piece of advice that you've ever received?
Do it wrong, do it long. Do it right, do it light. Kyle Lacey, wide receiver, number 2.
Do you have any nicknames?
K2.
What's the best piece of advice that you've ever been given?
Stay humble.
If you could have one superpower, what would it be?
Fly. I be flying in my dreams.
What's been the highlight of your partnership with us?
The bike giveaway was one of the best things. I was pretty excited about that one. Texas A&M, I just got a point to prove because last year I dropped 2 balls I should have caught. I'm coming for them for real.
That's it. Thank you, man.
My name is Harold Perkins, and I play linebacker.
What's your favorite pre-game meal or snack?
Pasta with a little steak, something that's not too heavy.
Any superstitions or pre-game rituals?
I pray a lot. Just be me and God before the game. Perky worky. I like when they call me the percolator. I like that.
If anyone gets in a wreck, who should they call?
Gore.
Thanks. Where were you born at, Greg?
Hattiesburg, Mississippi. But I claim 504 food because I was raised there my whole life. Favorite type of food is spaghetti. But you need to try spaghetti with some corn on the side. Funniest person, I'd probably get Kyron Lacey. He be having joked out every time I talk to him.
Who's the most athletic?
Besides myself. Perk or Malik. Future self, just take one day at a time, one step at a time. If you're doing something, just be where your feet are. Make sure you give 100% effort.
What is something on your bucket list?
Win a Super Bowl. That's definitely on my bucket list.
If you could have one superpower, what would it be?
Time traveling.
Who's the fastest on the team?
Like in a short span, I would say quick trigger, I'm taking perk. One thing most people don't know about me, probably that I moved 12 times growing up, 12 different states.
Who's the most savage on the team?
Mason Smith. Mason Smith, definitely.
And who gets it done?
Gordon.
Thank you, man. That's great.
Emery Jones, right tackle.
What's the best piece of advice you've ever received?
Got it from my mom, and she just told me, always keep your head on the swivel.
Favorite subject?
Math, easy. I kind of keep it light. Give me some type of red beans or something like that. Throw a little cornbread on the side.
Light with red beans.
Yeah, just a little bit. I am superstitious. I got some PhDs that's purple and yellow and white. I wear them every game. I feel like they my lucky draws, and you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna keep doing it.
As primary care sports physicians,
May bend but never break, your cloth is legit. When you return in rare form, they all gonna be sick. You ever seen a living legend, just know that I'm it. Slow grind like IT, just know that I'm it. Now I'm back up in my bag, I'm giving them fits. Bounce the bat like John Morant, you know that I'm lit. Making plays like Jack Bash, I'm never gonna sit. Had to be patient, so I waited for the situation. Now that I'm focused, I'ma take it with no hesitation. The hard times that I hated gave me
All right, welcome back. Barker Brothers Plumbing and Works, bringing you our show every single day. Shout out to Jude Barker and the crew. You can find them. You simply call them the Barker Brothers Plumbing and Works. You can get in touch with them. 749-2650 is the phone number. They are across the river in Plaquemine. They got a couple of trucks in Baton Rouge every single day, so they can help you out over at Barker Brothers Plumbing and Works. Get in touch with Jude and the crew over there and tell them you heard it right here on the Culotta Show over at Barker Brothers Plumbing and Works. All right, tough day for LSU recruiting yesterday. We had mentioned this a couple of weeks back on the show on whether or not Kai Bates was going to stick with his commitment. We had talked about his tackling or his inability, at least in the analysis of tackling. And yesterday, Kai Bates confirmed that he had decommitted from LSU, a four-star cornerback. So over the last couple of weeks, Andre Miller and is it Andre Evans?
Andre Evans.
Andre Evans out of Nashville and Kai Bates out of Orlando have both decommitted from the defensive backfield to LSU. And this is this is stuff that we've known LSU has been struggling in. This is a place that LSU has got to improve and got to get better, and we've recognized that. I really believe that you start to see some movement take shape here in the next couple of days or weeks on trying to fix that. From the coaching standpoint, this is obviously something that is not playing out to how LSU needs this to be played out, and you've got to find the people in place that can make this happen. Because right now, LSU's inability to bring in defensive players at a position of need. I mean, if you can't sell the cornerback room on the road right now at LSU, what else? What else do you want? I mean, there's open spots, there's playing time, there's a brand, there's the SEC, there's exposure, there's everything that big time highlight recruits want, and LSU has to sell. And for whatever reason, it is just not translating to the players. And we've given our theory on it. We've talked a little bit about it, and why we believe this is happening, and why LSU cannot really make an impact here. And I believe that, it goes back to the coaching element of it. And it goes back to the ability to evaluate, the ability to recruit, the ability to develop, and then the ability to sell that over and over again to players in high school, in junior college, in the transfer portal that can make a difference to you winning football games. Because right now the message is just not hitting. The message is just not there. And, for LSU to lose out on a cornerback once again, it's inexplicable. I mean, it's something that, you cannot, you can't have happen right now. Brian Kelly yesterday on how important the young defensive backs getting these reps are. Stewie, this is 13 of LSU and Kelly discussing what's going on in the defensive backfield room.
games that they've really
Yeah, it's absolutely crucial for all of them, and whether they're freshmen or in their second season of competition, and for some, their second season of competition is not much either. LaTerrence Welch hasn't played very much. Jordan Allen hasn't played very much. He played a lot on Saturday. So even those guys that are out there, it's absolutely crucial, first of all, that they're on film, because we've got to be able to teach off of the film that they have, and then be able to correct and build some confidence with them moving forward. So these are crucial times for them.
Yeah, the teaching part of the aspect and the development part of the aspect is something that I think LSU is looking to get out, especially from the defensive side of the ball. Stewie, this is 10 on the balance between building your roster through high school and transfer portal.
Potentially the portal. Sure, good question. I think now, really selective in terms of the needs for our program. As I've said, and I've made this very clear, we want to build it with freshmen. So this freshman class is going to be a large freshman class, and we want to build it there first and foremost. But there are areas that we want to be able to top off with some premier players. And, obviously, if you're looking at the wide receiver position, if we went into the portal there, you have to match it up with a guy like Malik Neighbors, if he ever went early. I don't think he will. Well, obviously we'll find out, but, if it's a guy like that, right? You have to look at the talent that you have in your program and measure it accordingly. So that's one side of the ball. The defensive side of the ball, then you're measuring the talent that you might lose on defense and be able to measure it accordingly. So it's measuring the talent accordingly to what's available and who might be out there. But it's building it with the freshmen, and then finding the particular players that might measure up to the players that you have in your program.
Brian Kelly yesterday talking about the balance in roster building here for LSU going into his third season as far as the recruiting goes. And look, this freshman class is going to be big in numbers. It doesn't matter if it's big in numbers if it doesn't hit areas of need, right? I mean, I think LSU has seen this many a times where they have had dominant recruiting classes, yet they've missed on position groups that they were desperate to fill. Offensive line was one usually back in the day that they would continuously just not be able to sign prospects. They would not be able to get guys in the cycle. They would sign DBs. They would sign wide receivers. They'd sign running backs. They'd sign defensive linemen. They couldn't sign offensive linemen for a long string of time. For whatever reason right now, they're swinging and missing on these DBs. Wardell Mack flipped his commitment from Florida to Texas earlier this week. Kai Bates decommitted. Andre Evans decommitted. I mean, these are big-time stories and big-time storylines that LSU has to hit on. And if they can't hit, it'll be a lot like what we've seen this year with LSU. Really good offense, can't stop anybody on defense. And I don't know about you, but I can't imagine them not fixing that. LSU defensively being so far off, it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense for this reason. Not because you're some prideful LSU fan and you can't stand the fact that LSU doesn't field a defense. You can't have it happen because your state produces as many defensive players per capita as any state out there that you have to hit on the majority of them year in, year out. And that has been the formula to winning for decades here. And whatever reason, we've speculated on why that approach has changed. They have to find their footing and get back to making sure and getting the best players, especially defensively, in the state. How can you miss offensively right now? I mean, if you're selling to an offensive player in either high school, football, junior college transfer portal the message has to hit very solid, right? From LSU standpoint offensively. They've got the number one offense in the country. They've got the Heisman Trophy front runner. They've got skill position players everywhere. They're trending towards the Joe Moore Award for the offensive line. I mean, they have all of what a dominant offense needs. Defensively, they're so far behind that they can't run with as good of an offense as they have, much less even compete with them to complement who they are to build the team. They are the biggest pain point for LSU's offense. I mean, LSU has to overcome their defense to win. They hadn't been able to do it 3 times.
You have to play perfect offensively. It feels like if you punt once, I think they've punted 18 times this year. It's not a lot.
Right.
And you've lost 3 games because you just can't get out your own way defensively. And I don't know if there's obviously a lot of chatter about Matt House. You know, people want to see him go. I don't know if it's as big as a wholesale change as that, but I think you see probably something change, right? There's no way you run back.
Oh, there's no way.
You can't run back.
There's no way you can
room.
run this back. There's no way. There's no way. The
that's-
misses. Ace Jordan. So if Louisiana produces so many DBs, then why are you worried about these out-of-town decommitments? Because they're missing on the in-state guys too. Jordan Matthews is at Tennessee. Derek Williams is at Texas. Jacoby Matthews is at Texas A&M. Wardell Mack's going to Texas.
Didn't even sniff LSU.
Jordan Gilbert's at Texas A&M.
I mean, you have to get the in-state guys.
Passing back eggs.
But that's where you think that the wholesale changes at Texas A&M, it might be LSU's saving grace. I don't know how quickly you can get into the portal this offseason if they do make changes and who you would bring in to do that, but that's what you need is somebody that could go pilfer that roster because they'll be able to play immediately. They'll get a waiver. And if you can get somebody in that can, because there's no other way to look at it. You can't recruit it. The room's not getting recruited.
Well, I mean, look at it. You can't. Not only can you recruit guys in, you can't hold guys that you have.
And I don't know if that's a sign of what's to come, if they're being told other things, or if they're hearing from other. Like that's what happens whenever a staff starts to get turnover. Or there's whispers of turnover, that maybe they're hearing from whoever was recruiting them, like, "Hey, I ain't gonna be here, so you can go look around." And I don't know if that's good or bad for LSU, but that's what it feels like, especially. I mean, you can kind of, I don't know, maybe draw some dots as to why Wardell Mack left and went to Texas. But to him not even sniff LSU shows that they just didn't even give him, I guess, they did something wrong.
Well, I mean, it's just the disrespect.
Right.
I mean, that's what it is.
He clearly feels disrespected.
And that is the message from other teams to players on LSU, is that they can't coach you, they can't develop you, they can't get you to the next level. And what can LSU say to that? What can LSU? Well, Patrick Peterson, yeah, I mean, cool. That was 2010, right? I mean, you have to. Recruiting in football is what happened last night and what are you doing tomorrow? While it's all cool that DBU was here with Tyrann Mathieu and Morris Claiborne and Brandon Taylor and Patrick Peterson, no disrespect, but a kid in high school these days, they don't really know who those guys are.
I mean, Hunter Fournette in the chat saying they're bringing in 4 DBs. Yeah, but it's three of them are 3 stars, and one of them plays quarterback. Like, Juwan Johnson doesn't spend a whole lot of time on the defense side of the football. That's a project.
Well, and they've just missed on 2 guys. They've just had 2 guys decommit. They need to sign 7 DBs. They need to sign 6 DBs.
They're signing 6, but they need to sign like 8.
No, they need to sign high-end
right.
DBs.
You've got Bernard Causey, Wallace Foster. If you want to count
Juwan Johnson, he's a corner. This is who's going to play at LSU.
Right. I haven't seen it. And then you got Deshaun McBride at safety, who is their highest-rated, probably, defensive back recruit. That's what I'm saying. It's not like it's, sure, you're recruiting the room, but you're not getting guys that LSU's used to getting. I don't think that's a surprise to anybody. You can't act like it's fine.
At cornerback. I mean, the two safety prospects, they'll probably play next year.
That's what I'm saying. I
mean, Deshaun McBride might be the best safety in the country.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If he's not, it's pulling hairs with the other guy. But, I mean, Joel Rogers same thing. He's probably the 5th best safety in the country, if not the 3rd. And Deshaun McBride's probably the 2nd.
And that's part of it. They're going to have to play next year.
Yeah. I mean, you want to come in and play.
Yeah.
You want those talented players to come in and play and have an impact on the team.
They'll get run. And this is kind of why we were banging the table a little bit to see the young guys play, because what you've seen from them is good. Like, Toviano's look good.
I think they
Welch
should have
looks
rolled.
good.
I was about to say, I think they should roll with Toviano and Welch at corner for the rest of the season. And try something else with Harold Perkins.
And you'll see him. Well, yeah, they're going off in the chat saying that that Harold Perkins is gonna enter the transfer portal.
He's not entering the
portal,
man.
What?
It ain't worth. It's not worth it to him.
I don't understand that, because what more does he have to gain by going to another school? Like, they're probably still gonna try to use him on the outside.
He'll be doing exactly what he's doing. He'll just be on a better defense, which is fine. But I mean, playing what he's doing at LSU is highlighting how good he is, because he's the only one that makes a play. So I don't think he's leaving. And LSU, they don't let your best player leave the school. LSU has never really allowed that to happen. Look what happened with Kayshon Boutte 2 years ago. Like, there was whispers sure that he was going to go somewhere. Guess what? He didn't. Like, Eli Ricks is one that got away, but I don't even know if they wanted him. So
Right.
Harold Perkins is not going to, if it's up to LSU, Harold Perkins is not going anywhere.
Right.
You'll be able to keep him around.
No, I don't anticipate Harold Perkins going anywhere. What I anticipate is that they've got to go out and they've got to change the coaching staff. I mean, to be frank, they've got to get guys that can get people in here, that can make LSU relevant in recruiting discussions. That's what they need more than anything, because swinging and missing in recruiting is setting them back so far on Saturdays that it's tough for them to catch up. I mean, for every year that you miss in recruiting, it sets you back 3 years on the field. I mean, it is tough to overcome back-to-back classes in swinging and missing in certain positions. While you can fill the talent up in certain areas, if you don't hit on recruiting every single year at positions of need, it's a setback. And right now, LSU is tremendously set back. I mean, the 38 transfer players, the year that Brian Kelly got the job, is obviously humongous. But you need recruiting classes like they're about to sign, 30, 32 guys that you can bring in to really, charge up the roster and get this thing relevant and competitive at certain positions that you got to be. I mean, defensive line and defensive line and defensive back are just inexcusable on how far back they are.
And it's clearly a point of emphasis. Like, he mentions it every time he talks about it.
And if people want to discount signing Louisiana kids, I would say, like, John Emery is like a perfect example. Like, John Emery had every chance to leave LSU. He could have left LSU probably 3 years ago in 2020 and didn't, because he's from Louisiana. He wanted to play at LSU. And people are saying, oh, why y'all banging the table for Louisiana kids? That's why, because those kids are going to come to LSU and want to be at LSU. They're going to want to be at Texas A&M or Texas or Florida or anywhere else but LSU.
You just got to show them the love.
Exactly, and they're going to stick it out if they have to compete for a position, because they know, like, I want to be here. I want to play for my state. I want my family to be able to come watch me play. Like,
that's why Harold Perkins isn't going anywhere.
Exactly.
Like, that still plays.
Not only that, I mean, you once you're at your school and once you're settled in, I mean, it does take a lot for somebody to want to up and move. I mean, it's not just as flimsy as people may make it to be. I mean, once you're embedded, once you're in it, once you've put the work in, once you've created the relationships, once you've been a part of the program, once you've, really tried to compete and put yourself in the best chance to play, I mean, it's tough to pull that cord and say, I want out, right? I mean, I think that there is something to that, from the sense of, you pay your time, you pay your dues, you put the work in, and you don't just up and leave. So we'll see, man. Remember our friends over at City Cafe? We reminded you last week they are taking care, or want to take care of your Thanksgiving needs over at City Cafe. They can help you out. over at City Cafe on O'Neill and George O'Neill. Remember, they're located at 4710 O'Neill Lane. Been in business for over 100 years. They want to prepare your Thanksgiving dinner. They got a 12 to 14 pound fried turkey, a couple of quarts of cornbread dressing, quarts of green beans or yams. You get turkey gravy, cranberry sauce. You can get all of that, and feeds 10 to 12 people for $117.99. If you want to add on some seafood gumbo or some corn and crab bisque, you can do that as well. citycafebr.net. citycafebr.net is the online address where you can put that order in, or you can check them out at City Cafe, located on O'Neill Lane, 4710 O'Neill Lane. citycafebr.net, taking care of your Thanksgiving, or at least they want to. We'll come back and close it out here. Jordy Culotta Show, built by R&B.
Greens, beans, tomatoes, potatoes.
Red Stick Sports, a local staple in Baton Rouge to all sports fans, was founded back in 1981 and has remained a family business for over 40 years. Today, they still have the great selection on the floor, but they're also a leader in custom apparel for businesses, sports teams, and other groups. Take it from us, everybody over here at FM Digital Media. They help us out with all of our apparel. Let them help you out today. Go ask for Cody over at Red Stick Sports. Check him out online at redsticksports.biz.
The Jordy Culotta Show is brought to you by A-Bears Lawn Maintenance. Commercial or residential, A-Bears Lawn Maintenance is ready to work. A-Bears can tackle all your homeowners association requirements. Call Blake at 225-485-8022. A-Bears Lawn Maintenance.
In a wreck, Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys is ready to go to work for you. Come meet your team.
I'm your intake specialist. I coordinate your case and connect you with your attorney and paralegal.
That's us, your legal team.
Thanks.
And we'll fight to get you every dollar you deserve.
I'm your settlements and disbursement manager, and I'm here to get you paid on time.
I'm attorney Gordon McKernan. Put our team to work today. Just call us. Get it done.
Hey Tiger fans, when you're traveling through Natchez, Mississippi, make sure to visit Tom and Wright Granning at Go Mart and On The Go Deli, where you can fill up your tank and your belly. Go Mart has clean restrooms, community coffee, an awesome beer cave, and a great selection of anything you may need on your trip. Located at 4 Sergeant Prentice Drive as you're entering Natchez on the left. Also stop by Wardo's Po' Boys at 309 North Broadway on the beautiful Natchez Bluff, where the Po' Boys are so good you'll swear you're in Cajun country.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one. You. Auctioner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
All right, buddy. Make it a good shot. Oh, yeah. Sticking the roof in.
For a hole in your roof, for a whole new roof, go roof. Roof, roof, go roof.
Hey, Greg, roof up? Roof's up. Roof's up. Roof's up. Roof's up. Roof's up. Roof's up. Beautiful roof every single time. True. True.
Well, the Auctioner Andrews Sports Medicine Institute collaborative effort was an idea from Dr. Andrews and myself to bring together two great names, the Andrews name and the Auctioner name, to elevate the quality of care for athletes in the state of Louisiana, where he's from.
I always thought I would come back to Louisiana and practice orthopedics with my subspecialty being sports medicine. This was an opportunity through Auctioners to come back and work the entire state to help develop and take sports medicine to a new level.
As an orthopedic surgeon, what this means in the future in terms of, access for our community to the type of care that Dr. Andrews pioneered, words can't describe how valuable that is.
Ochsner has a great opportunity here to really grow, and Dr. Burnham, of course, is the mainstay of making that happen. If you want to have first-class sports medicine care, check in with Dr. Burnham and his group, and you'll be more than impressed and pleased.
I'm Tom Granick with Go Martin, Wardo's Po' Boys in Natchez, Mississippi. On behalf of the Granick family, we invite you to run, walk, or stroll in the second annual Rudolph Roll. Held on the beautiful Natchez Bluff, this holiday event will kick off at 8 a.m. on December 9th and will include a 10K, 5K, and 1 mile kids fun run. Along with the race, there will be live music, drinks, and of course, po' boys. We're looking forward to an even bigger party this year. For more information, please check out the link on Wardo's Facebook page or scan the QR code. Hope to see y'all there.
Hey, Chino. Cut my headphones up, bro. Yeah, right there. Now I'm focused on getting deposits. Evil in the way, now I'm just driving around it. They said I needed soul searching, I already found it. I unlocked my other side.
All right, welcome back to the Jordy Culotta Show live here on this Tuesday morning. Give us a like, share, follow. If you have not subscribed, please click that subscription button before we get out of here, as we appreciate you being a part of today's show. Bada bing, bada boom, asking, what does Jordan Arcemont do? Jordan Arcemont, he's asking about Arcemont, the Director of Player Development. Bada bing, bada boom says, I'll keep asking, fellas, because I want Jordy's take on Jordan Arcemont. I'm not wanting to bash him because he's from my hometown, but how much blame should be on him? I mean, look, Jordan Arcemont's job title was, before he is in the position now, was to recognize who the recruits are and put them in the coach's evaluation tank and let them see if they wanted them. And he had good relationships with people around the state where he could put those things together. Now he's overseeing some NIL stuff, some things that are more, helpful to the players that are currently in the program. That was Bo Lowry.
Yeah.
That was the one that was celebrating though.
Yeah, Sean Payton pilfered us. Just little jabs all the way on the way out.
But Jordan Arcemont taking blame for the roster would be
that's a bit above way
off base. I mean, like he's trying to get NIL deals. He's trying to work things that are on the current roster that he wants things done from a fundraising and from a help standpoint. So I would think that criticism of Jordan Arcemont because of the state of the roster would be misguided criticism, honestly. And so. I think that Arcemont does a great job. I think Arcemont should be he should run football ops for LSU. I think he should be the director of football operations over there. I mean, his relationships around, he's great at his job. I don't think that there's any blame to put on him for the state of the roster, quite frankly.
I'd more put that on positionally.
Yeah, right.
Because if you look at
it's the position coaches that have to set these relationships, lay the groundwork down, and whoever the closer is, whether it's Frank Wilson, Brian Kelly, the coordinators, or whoever it is, tee them up so they can get them in front of those people's face to close them. If they can do the full recruiting pitch where you went in the living room, take them back to school, show them around, show them how you're going to use them, and then close them. Well, hey, man, you're going to be a head coach one day. It's a special skill set. But, first things first, they've got to get the guys in the coaching room that can evaluate, can win in the living room, and recruit to the roster. And then once they get here, they got to be able to develop them and coach them. And then you've got to replay that cycle over and 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 over again. That's why you can go into the living room and you can sell your resume of guys that Frank Wilson's resume of guys that he's recruited is miles long because he's done it thousands and thousands of times. When Robert Steeple goes in the living room and tells you about all the guys that he's recruited from, DeSmet High School in St. Louis, those are good players, right? But where's the development? Who have you put into the league? Who can I get on the phone right now and will vouch for you and will say, yeah, if it wasn't for Coach Steve, I wouldn't be in the league. I wouldn't be the guy that I am. I wouldn't be the player that I am. I mean, those are the things that win in recruiting. Those are the things that aren't happening to LSU, and those are that's how I believe he's got to fix it pretty quick.
Per On3 22 minutes ago, Quinn Ewers is expected to return to Texas for the 2024 season.
Wow.
Arch, you're going to have to wait another year.
You talk about transfer portal. Their backup quarterback.
Oh, Malik Murphy.
Malik Murphy.
Good.
Is he good?
He can sling it.
I mean, if Quinn Ewers is going back,
I mean, you gotta.
And Arch is in tow. It's kind of like the Walker Howard Nussmeier Jaden Daniels situation last year. Something's got to give.
Right, and because I can play.
Right, absolutely. Yes, he can play. Absolutely, he can play. So
look out for Florida.
Heads up. Watch that one. We were just looking at this Jimbo buyout. And for perspective here, Ed Ogeron collected $17.5 million on a buyout, that's good living, man. You know what I mean? Like, that is good, healthy, paycheck, living, income. I mean, you're comfortable, right? It takes a lot to spend that. You can do it, but it takes a lot. You got to put some effort into it.
I could do it.
You could absolutely do it.
Oh, for sure.
But you also couldn't.
Right. You could also pass that on to your grandkids.
Right.
I mean, that's enough money where you can generationally live, off the interest and live a good life.
Let your money make money.
You could be an asshole, though.
Yeah, you take 10 of those.
You could definitely be a prick.
Personally, I mean, you take 10 of that and just put it away.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Now I'm living off 7.
Absolutely. Jimbo, on the first payout of this buyout, is going to make $3.5 million more than Ed got on his total check. For perspective,
I don't think they like
so
me.
Ed is still on the payroll for LSU for the next 5 years. They paid him 5 up front of the 15, and then I think they're sprinkling him for the next 5 years to make sure he doesn't go and become the recruiting coordinator for Alabama. I would also say to Ed, like, you want to do that? With all this money you got in the bank, you want to go fly across the country on prop planes and talk to entitled, spoiled brats on what they think they deserve in NIL and why your school has to give it to him, or he's going to your biggest rival? And I've heard the argument that Jimbo is going to want to coach again. And he might. I don't know.
Some people can't turn it off.
If he does, I would be very weary of the motivation factor for Jimbo. Because unless he's got some friend running an athletic department like Les Miles did, after Les collected 13 when he had the ski mask on and robbed the state of Louisiana blind, and his frat buddy, Jeff Long, hired him up at Kansas and threw him a couple of more million on the way out.
Got one conference win.
I just don't understand why Jimbo would be intrigued to coach again. Nonetheless, I don't understand why an administrator on a school side would want Jimbo to coach again. Because one thing that I did see from Texas A&M over the last couple of years was just stagnant. They never progressed. I mean, I think Ross Bjork describing it as stuck in neutral is as clear of a definition of when you look at A&M of what you feel. It felt a lot like LSU did under Miles. It just wasn't moving. It should be moving, right? You look at the place and you're like, man, look at all these players coming out of there.
What more do you need?
Look at the facilities. Look at the stadium. Look at the everything you're selling. And this is what you get?
7-5.
And from Jimbo's standpoint, the progression, it was not there. It has never progressed. It never got any better. There was never anything on the horizon that made you excited. There was never anything to look forward to. There was never something that you were like, yeah, but they got him coming in, or he's developing, or this guy's going to be good. So from an evaluation standpoint, I don't know what you would see in Jimbo that would make you want to bring him in and say, you're our guy.
Somebody put this, Tom Grading. Like Mississippi State, I could see that.
Yeah, but really?
But yeah, you want to win 3 games or you want to win 8?
Power 5 job. Like I'm settling on Jimbo, who has proven to me over the last 2 years at Florida State and through his first 6 years at A&M that he's not in with the times. He's not up with the 2020s football edition. He's still stuck in the early 2000s. Or do I go out and I get somebody who's young, proven, can adapt, and is thriving in today's college football market? Well, he doesn't have a name. Who cares? Right? Like, that's the evaluation part of it. That's what the NFL does, in my opinion, better than anybody, right? Like, you go and, well, they're just cherry-picking Sean McVay's staff. Yeah, well, they found a honey hole. I've never heard of Kevin Stefanski. Well, man, he looks like he's a pretty good coach. I mean, you go find these guys that you may not know, you may not have ever heard of. I mean, a lot like who Sean Payton was when the Saints brought him in. He was kind of a no-name guy at the time. He was the Dallas Cowboys offensive coordinator. So he was playing on America's team that everybody knew. He was coaching under Parcells. Outside of that, there wasn't a lot of people in that were fringe fans of the Saints that knew who Sean Payton was. I mean, put your evaluator hat on. Go find somebody that you believe in. Bring him in. Maybe you can shave a couple of off the bottom line so he can prove it, but I got to pay. What am I paying for if I get Jimbo? Just his name?
I agree.
I mean, what am I getting?
And how motivated is he?
It can't be. He didn't look motivated at A&M.
He's probably, I mean, there's probably nobody happier.
Look at BJ.
No, I saw that.
BJ Ojulari blowing up.
And then they had like Dan Lanning had to go on record yesterday to be like, I'm not interested in the A&M job. I keep hearing my name. I have no idea what y'all are talking about. I wouldn't see him.
I'd love to start a bidding war between A&M and Oregon. Like, see how high that thing could go.
No, I mean, Phil Knight will step in real quick.
150 million.
He'll play the game.
Yeah, Lanning should.
Yeah.
He should be like, A&M. But this is where A&M got themselves into trouble. They tried to muscle their way up to the big kids table. And now that you tried to buy yourself there and you're not there, now what do you do? Because you can't. It feels like they can't settle for they can't settle for not a big name coach. It feels like because of how much they've doubled down on trying to be successful and throwing their weight around and throwing money around, that this is the conversation you put yourself in, where it's like, we can't get Dan Lanning. I don't really want to go to A&M. They don't. When's the last time they won?
Coach Caskey said we should check out Yale practice when A&M comes to town.
No.
Yes.
He said me and you should
pass the back Ags?
Yeah. That would be a clown show.
Where do they practice?
I don't know. I asked him.
I think the last time they were here, they practiced on the bands.
Oh,
practice
God.
over there, right by the hood.
Oh God, that's not a smart spot.
I mean,
just imagine the people walking by like, what the fuck is going on over here?
Who are these people?
They're yelling and shit, kissing their cousins.
God damn! If
I'm A&M and I want the big name guy, if I want the fish, if I want the big fish, I'm paying Urban Meyer, and I'm not overthinking it.
Yep.
I mean, really and truly, Urban, you want back in college football? Yes, I do. All right, here you go.
Show you how much of a sleaze bag I am.
I mean,
play the game, Herb.
Yeah, I mean,
do your deal.
Herb kid.
That is almost perfect.
The man is a chameleon. He can fit into that culture.
Are you kidding?
And he'd be able to do whatever he wanted.
College Station, bro. Yeah, I could walk around this thing like I'm.
I mean, Herb having my house in Dallas.
Got
him set up in Houston. He'll have some PJ that he's got from a booster that he pals around on. I mean,
he'll take them for all their worth.
He'll be Captain Ag.
Yes.
I mean,
pass him back.
He'd be thumbs up everywhere he goes.
Get him. I'm the 12th man.
He'll probably be saying "gig 'em on Fox," big noon kickoff.
He might start slutting himself out there.
Oh my goodness.
The thing about A&M though, if he does go, it could kill him.
Yeah, it might kill him.
Because they want to win so badly, and Urban can't help himself. He likes to try to win. But if he does it, one thing always tends to happen.
My chest hurts.
My chest starts
getting tight.
I mean, this man was falling down on the sideline. Like, collapsing.
He collapsed. He did. with the full play sheet in his hand and everything.
I mean, he is high comedy.
He is. No, he's...
He signed a contract saying he would never coach again to his family that didn't. He just didn't honor his own contract that he wrote for himself.
So look, I'm going to coach again.
Yeah, sorry about that. Remember when I lied?
Grab the paper shredder.
Yeah. I'm leaving. Go over to the bar.
I mean, the only thing that Urban has done good in his life is college football.
Yep.
Yes.
That's the only thing he's ever done good.
And he'll probably say that. Like, not even his kids.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
like, best thing that ever happened to me is winning that national championship.
I love
before.
college. You know what's good about college?
College girls.
Get older, they stay the same age.
I mean,
This is a vampire.
don't overthink it, man. I mean, if you want the big name, if you want the big fish,
Herb.
if you want the name that can swim in the tank with Saban, Kelly, Smart,
It's Herb.
and
It's
the
Herb.
crew,
Put a
I
cowboy
mean,
hat on.
Go
him
get Herb.
and some Spurs.
Oh, my goodness. Are they going to give him a national championship trophy? Too?
What did they do with that?
I wonder what they do with that. Jimbo probably had it in his
Do you
office.
think he put it in his brown? That you know, you get like the one box.
Didn't they give him cowboy boots and a,
Yes.
and a national championship?
I saw a picture of Jimbo with a recruit the other day, and he had like his championship rings from Florida State on the kid.
Oh, we can't even get you anything. We got these cups from when we beat LSU in 2018. I got this painting of the 2-point conversion. That's the best thing they've done.
I mean, the kid's probably like, I didn't even see that game.
Yeah.
Coach, I was in fifth grade.
I didn't even know what you're talking about, man. 7 overtimes. I hadn't even heard of that.
Who's Kelvin Benjamin at Florida State? What? Jameis?
Jack Nicholas's grandson?
Yeah, flicking people off. No gloves, grit. He's a Buffalo Bill. Was.
Who?
Jack Nicholas's grandson. He's a 5-star tight end.
He was.
Wait, the guy that played for Florida State?
Yeah.
Wow, that was Jack Nichols' grandson? He was a stud.
He was. Great golfer, too. I think he made a hole-in-one in the part. Was that him? That was, they made a hole-in-one in the part.
I don't think that was
I don't think that
him.
was. They look at
Yeah.
Nick Leary. Nick O'Leary.
That's what
Nick
it was.
O'Leary.
That's right. But I
Brain
think
still
it was
works.
another
There's
one
an-
of
I
his
mean-
grandsons that.
I mean, the bloodline is strong.
Oh, Jackie.
They
Still
should-
having kids.
I mean, milk him like a horse. Sell his DNA. Oh God, but yeah, it's Herb.
I don't
even know who's in second. I don't know who else even fits the bill.
I mean,
It's
I
not
guess-
Dan Lanning.
Yeah. I was going to say Dan. Maybe Dion.
Not Brian Kelly.
Dion.
Dion, I could see. Oh man, talk about a culture shift.
I'm telling you, I would hire him. I mean, he lives in Texas. He understands it. He's not scared of anything. You need somebody that's not going to be intimidated from Austin and the Longhorns and all that. Like, he will play that stuff up, and he'll get players. I mean, like, that's the name of the game.
Yeah, but I don't think the thing that's hurting A&M the most in that debate is A&M.
Right.
Like, they can't change.
Right,
Yeah,
but I
I
mean,
don't
like
think
when you
they-
got Damian Craig out there trying to coach, and you got these bums that Jimbo has on staff. I mean, Sanders is going to bring in a 5-star staff.
Yeah.
Sanders is coming in to do nothing but develop and win, like recruit, develop, and win. And that's
What, he's going to bring Pat Sherman with him again?
I mean, Pat Shermer.
Yeah, that's their new offensive coordinator.
I mean, the guy's got an NFL pedigree. He's got an NFL resume.
Did
You
he
know what
coach
I
at
mean?
A&M already?
No, you're thinking of Pat Sherman. Pat
Sherman.
Sherman's did. Pat
Yes,
Shermer
yes.
did not.
But that's the only thing. I just don't. He would have to totally. A&M is so ingrained into what A&M is and who they are. It's their identity, and Prime would try to bring Prime there, and it would be a little bit of a.
Yeah, maybe.
Because
Till
they
you
want
start
you
winning.
right.
Right. I mean, I know that his sons can't transfer again. I know all that stuff.
Have another one.
So I don't know, man. I
Those are your two answers.
I would hire Urban Meyer if they want a big fish. If they want the big name, if they want the guy, then I would go after Urban Meyer. I mean, if it's not, I would go hire Texas San Antonio's coach. Right? I mean,
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's such a. The bar is here, then
yeah.
it's here.
I mean, it's such a scale.
Right.
Appreciate you being out there here on this Tuesday. Make sure to hit that like button, share button, comment button. We'll be back with you tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. If you have not subscribed to the channel, make sure to hit that subscription button before we get out of here. Jordy Culotta Show, built every single day by RMB Builders.
Do you think Bobby Petrino's ears perked up a little bit when he's like, oh, maybe me. It could be me again. Put up 50.
I mean, in Bobby Petrino's mind, probably.
That's what I'm saying. He's like, this could be me.
But, I mean, Bob's, you're out with Jimbo. Yeah, right. You're out, buddy.
Hop on, sweetheart.
Have a good day. Hit that like button, share button, comment button. We'll be back with you tomorrow morning.
Pickle day.
Hey, Chino. Friday from 7 to 9. Yeah, you see the notification, we about to go live. We got all your favorite guests, we got them in line. It's the Jordy Culotta Show, come have a good time. It's the hottest show around, we ain't gotta flex. Call up G, we get it done, we earning our respect. Tell recruits to let us in, where they going next. Throw up the L's, now we lit, band playing neck. From the boot to the east to the west coast. No matter where we at, we live, mic'd up for show. Open up the phone lines, come and join the show. Make sure you tell your friends about Jordy Culotta Show. Yeah, Monday through Friday from 7 to 9. Yeah, you see the notification, we about to go live. We got all your favorite guests, we got them in line. It's the Jordy Culotta Show, come have a good time. Monday through Friday from 7 to 9. Yeah, you see the notification, we about to go live. We got all your favorite guests, we got them in line. It's the Jordy Culotta Show, come have a good time, yeah.